beloved 8% Hard AF Seltzer is now live in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Texas, Ohio, Montana, Idaho, Oregon, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Illinois. Go to hardafseltzer.com today, click on the store locator, and enter your city or zip to find the closest location nearest you.
We are gold for energy! Send it! Incoming! Put the money in the bag, man!
As I said, your paycheck is your thank you.
What's going on back there?
This is awesome!
Welcome to Earth! No. Who's flying the plane? Get cockpit. Go. God.
Black Rifle Energy, dropping near you.
Welcome to Drinkin Bros, presented by OmahaSteaks.com. Welcome to Drinkin Bros, kids. Charlie Kirk has been fatally shot, is being reported by the New York Post and Donald Trump on Truth Social. He is dead at the age of 31. We are stunned here, and we were live on the NFL show on Drinkin Bros Sports, and phones started going off, everything started going crazy. Typically when we do these shows, I'm looking at the scores and trying to throw it to other people, watching the angles on cameras and all the production stuff. Dan writes the news and everything else, and then usually looks after the chats. As we are going live with these videos on a daily basis, I have not seen the footage. I will get to see it here on screen. We will not show it on YouTube. We will also not show it on our social media channels as well, out of respect for Charlie and his family. He's a friend of the show. He was obviously on the show last year. We had a fun bet regarding the Ohio State-Oregon game, which he won. And we got to chat afterwards. The following week, he was a very, very nice man and a funny, charming, Christian family man. He had 2 children, 2 young children, and this is horrific news. Joining with us today is Bill Thompson from Spartan Forge. Bill, you always seem to be with us in these moments for some reason. Like,
yeah. Hi, everyone. Yeah,
it's wild.
It's horrible. It's too bad. I don't even know what to say right now. I mean,
I don't either. So, D'Anthony, I'll throw it over to you. Where was this? What happened? We just finished the NFL show, so I was wrapping up that and doing some ad reads. I've not seen any of this. Obviously, I've gotten a million text messages. Where was he and what happened here?
He was at Utah Valley University, kicking off the American Comeback Tour, as he called it. Just like Charlie does this once a year. He does, I don't know how long it usually is, but a couple weeks of visiting universities and having conversations with people, you know? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what he does. He's never rude. He doesn't shout.
No, he doesn't even swear.
No, he had the, a very calm presence out there. Never one to, like, insult people or anything like that. I mean, not that any kind of political violence like that is ever justified, but this is like the weirdest target I can imagine. It just doesn't make any sense, you know?
I am stunned. I truly can't believe it. And we've been through a lot of crazy stuff over the last 10 years on this show. Besides Trump potentially being assassinated last year, which we ended up coming on air live on a Sunday night to cover that. It's hard for me to remember a public figure this large being assassinated or killed or however you want to phrase it there. He's got over 5 million followers on Twitter. I have no idea what his YouTube subscribers are. He's got one of the biggest podcasts in the United States, and he has been a political voice for conservatives for a very, very long time, and he's a great person. Bob, what do we know now? Who is the shooter? Is he in custody?
Nope, he is on the run. There's a huge manhunt going on in Utah. They arrested some old guy who was like kind of crazy.
Okay.
Like he was doing weird shit. His pants fell down as they were taking him
Well,
to
that's
the police
Utah.
car.
That's Utah, Bob.
But that was not the guy, apparently. And honestly, my first thought seeing him was, according to what the shot was, I was like, that's a hell of a shot for that guy to make.
Okay. Now, was this being aired
It
live?
was being streamed.
Streamed live?
Like,
okay.
Yeah, like everything.
We won't show this, but I would like to see it because I have not seen this. I've heard it is extremely shocking. And this is him on stage here?
This is when he is shot.
Okay.
I'm not going to show it, but
No.
you haven't seen it.
I just want to see it for myself.
It was during a question about transgender shootings.
It was.
what
Okay.
I guess.
Is there any volume of him speaking as well?
I don't know. I've only watched it on silent.
Okay.
You don't really need noise for this.
No. Go ahead and press play for me because I have not seen this, so forgive me. I want to be clear. I want to know what I'm talking about. This is not to sensationalize it whatsoever, and we're certainly not going to show it. Go ahead and press play for me. Wow. It looked like he got shot in the neck.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, it looked like it came directly from the right. When you listen to it, I mean, if you've heard a 5.56, it sounded like a 5.56 to me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Small caliber. Yeah, talking that
yeah,
point.
excuse me.
That's okay.
Yeah, it sounded like a 5.56 to me, something small caliber, like Dan said, but I would guess 5.56. And if you've heard it once, you've heard it 1,000 times. It looks like it comes directly from the right. You obviously see the amount of blood that comes out right away.
Yeah, is there a video for that, Bob? So Bill can describe it.
I mean, that's you. We can't play that.
No, we're not showing it.
Yeah.
I just.
Well, it's just the video we just watched. You
Oh, it
can
is.
see
Yeah.
But is there another angle of that?
There's a separate angle I have on here I can send off to someone if
No,
needed.
there's.
but-
It's the wide angle. You can see a lot of the including the person who is filming this right here.
Yeah, this is the one that
Everybody turns to the right as soon as he gets hit, which is
Okay.
a good indicator where the round comes from.
Yeah, it comes from the right. and-
Got it.
Yeah, I mean,
Play this one more time, and Bill, if you could describe it here.
This
'cause
isn't graphic.
okay, but well, I'm not going
We
to.
shouldn't show
I'm not
it,
going to.
but-
I'm still not showing it, but I don't know what a 5.56 is.
that's just the caliber round. 223 is like a civilian, like Bushmaster round.
Okay.
What the military, carries, the M4 is a 5.56. It's a military term for a 223 round.
Okay.
So it's just a very distinct sounding rifle.
Is this something a civilian would have?
Yeah, a civilian would have. I mean, yeah, if they have like a 223, like a Bushmaster or something like that, it's widely accessible. And when you hear it from the right, it's one singular shot, and you'll see it here in a moment. But I remember when I saw it, and I was texting with Dan. If there wasn't someone with expert level trauma, abilities, with some type of hemostatic, quick clot or something like that, and there wasn't windpipe damage, there's a 5% chance you could save that person, or 10%, like with an expert.
Okay.
But without all that, I mean, it's just
It's impossible.
it's the jugular vein, the carotid artery.
Okay.
When you see that much blood come out at one time, you're hitting a major artery, and the bleed out there max is 2.5 or 3 minutes. Dan, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm recalling my trauma
It's
training
about
from the
2.5,
military.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the fastest is the brachial. It's about 90 seconds.
Minute
Brachial's
to
right
90
here.
seconds. Yeah.
Okay.
And the femoral is obviously the femoral is a tricky one because there's so much muscle down there. Sometimes it'll get impinged, and you'll survive longer than you move, and you're just done. So it just depends. But there's nothing to really hold this one together, and the carotid doesn't usually get impinged either. So yeah, it's pretty quick after that, which is why the conversation, and you never know who's getting what information, but the AP's reporting he's unstable, this and that. That all seemed like fantastical to me.
AP's reporting dead too.
I know they are now.
now.
I know they are, but an hour into it, they were reporting still
Critical.
that he was critical but stable. There's no fucking way.
Well, there was
But whatever. I mean,
there was a lot of people who rushed him off of this stage, and it appears as if they were attempting to save his life.
Yeah.
So I can understand not wanting to get it wrong, because God forbid you did, and you pronounce somebody dead that isn't dead. So play this angle for us, and then Bill, describe it. Obviously, we will not show this on screen. Bob?
Yeah, we're at this university here. I think there's about 40,000 people that go to this university. It's large. It's open. I did confirm that there was no security. Shot rings from the right. So no one was getting checked on the way in. Shot rings from the right. People start flipping out. He falls down to his left, and he falls on the
You
side.
see all those people right there looking to the right?
Yes.
Yep.
That's a good indicator. I mean, if you're like if you're a counter sniper or something like that, that's one of the things you're going to look for when you hear a shot. Just to everybody looks in a direction. Usually, that's a good direction for you to look in as well.
Yeah.
Right. And as a civilian here, the only one on set, I'll go back to the JFK shooting where when it happened, people started pointing and looking in the same direction and everything else. So that makes sense.
There is a 4-story building to the right there. Again, it's not confirmed. Like the angle to me, and again, Dan, you can chime in here. The angle to me looked like it was pretty straight on, like from the right. So I don't know if he was level with Charlie or if he was up in one of those. There's a 4-story building to the right.
Okay.
And I looked at this on Google Maps before I got here. I mean, there's a lot of ingress and egress. It's surrounded by high ground. Like, I'm not Monday morning quarterbacking. I just know, like, with all of the stuff that's happening, obviously with the Trump shootings, with this girl on the subway the other day, tensions are getting hot. And it's just like, and I'm not second guessing these guys. I don't know what his security details like. I don't know who they are. I don't know the situation, but there's a lot of high ground around that. And that's generally not good when you've got someone under a cloth tent.
Sure. But I will say this, Bill, from the civilian standpoint, I believe Charlie was non-military as well. I don't know that he would have a large security team sweeping buildings before he gets there.
He's got a he's got CPP, close personal protection, like executive protection, but they wouldn't have had counter snipers or anything like that.
No. And I wasn't suggesting
and nobody
that.
was to sweep a building before you get started on something like this, because to be fair, Dan and I have done these podcasts and those tents, live shows, 1 million times. We do not have that kind of money to be paying people or
I was simply referring to site selection when you talk about
and I appreciate
site selection.
Yeah.
Not second guessing. This is awful. I just, you asked me to describe, and those were the things that were going through my head as I was looking at it.
Absolutely. But for the audience, Charlie makes very good money, but security detail like this, if Trump did not have it at that rally in Butler, Pennsylvania, Charlie's not going to have it at this. Like, that's just
absolutely.
not a thing that happens in the podcast world. Obviously, this is heartbreaking, and he just got pronounced dead. A lot of people online are going back and forth on what has been said, what has not been said. MSNBC is trending right now over what?
Saying that it's possible that this was a supporter of Charlie's who was doing like fanfare. Like, one of the quotes that I saw was
called
celebratory fire.
Celebratory
like
gunshots?
like fucking Yosemite Sam.
Yeah,
or
like,
something.
like you're in Iraq and someone just got married and you're firing out of, like, happy.
Why would anyone do that at a podcast?
It just shows the absurdity, like them playing the mental baseball that they're playing over there.
Can you play the clip, Bob? Yeah. Okay.
In which a shooting like this happens.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea about.
In which
holy shit! So that was not the reporter. It appears as if maybe that was a guest on that show.
Yeah, she kind of goes along with it though, and like if I'm hosting that show, or if you guys are hosting this show, and I said something like that, I would
immediately stop you.
Hey,
and
dude,
be like, "Hey, that's not a thing that we do here."
Lay off the hard AF.
Yeah,
Might have been Matthew Dowd because
he said something worse.
He said something else. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if it was the same guy or not.
I just sent you this.
Do you want the Pritzker thing or whatever?
Yeah, because it is an
play,
MS. It was the guest on MSNBC, and that's been confirmed.
Yeah, you can just play this audio.
Okay.
Well, I think it was. I don't think it's the same one.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, it is.
Oh, it is.
Okay.
So this is the guy?
Yeah.
Go ahead and press play here. On
But following up with what was just said, he's been one of the most divisive, especially divisive younger figures in this, who is constantly sort of pushing this sort of hate speech or sort of aimed at certain groups. And I always go back to hateful thoughts lead to hateful words, which then lead to hateful actions.
Oh, boy.
Well, on
that is the wrong thing to say moments after.
On that note, Bob, I'm sending you one right now.
That guy's name is Charlie Dowd?
Matthew Dowd.
Matthew Dowd.
He was a chief strategist for the Bush administration. So, you know, the guy that fucked up our whole country?
Yeah, that guy. Okay, good. Let's give him a bigger platform.
Well, this is Chris Murphy, who's a senator, talking just yesterday, actually.
Okay.
Like we're in a war right now to save this country, and so you have to be willing to do whatever is necessary in order to save the country. Like we're
not in a war.
We are not.
No, you've never been to war, you fucking bitch. You have no idea what war is. But it seems like you might know soon if you guys keep it up, frankly. Because once a fucking week now, some asshole who should have been publicly executed already or in prison, or some just random leftist decides to murder somebody for their political beliefs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think the North Irish called this the Troubles back in the day. Lasted about 30 years for them. It's every fucking day. It's every day. And I said this the other day. This kind of behavior is a result, excuse me, of telling people constantly that if somebody disagrees with you on a political point, then they are an existential threat to you.
And
That
the
they're
ends justify the means.
Yeah, they're literally trying to kill you.
Right.
They're literal Hitler. Words are literal violence. And when you tell people that enough, they'll eventually fight back. As I laid out on the show, it happens with inner city gangs. It happens with the terrorists that he and I fought, and it happens here at home with these people. It's the same goddamn thing. And people at some point have to be held accountable for this stuff. I mean, we're talking about this young Ukrainian woman over the past week or two.
48 hours, yeah.
Well, I mean, that happened in August. Though,
Yeah,
right?
I know.
But we've been talking about it a lot lately here. These judges who are letting people out have to be penalized for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Somebody asked me, like, what can we even do about some of this stuff? Well, I can tell you two things we could do right goddamn now. One is revoke any cashless bail nationwide right now, right?
Yep.
And the second one is anybody that's on probation that fucking blinks the wrong way and they're on probation for a violent crime, they're back in prison.
Mm-hmm.
Tired of playing these games. Like, this is unacceptable.
Yeah, I'm going to read President Donald Trump's post from Truth Social. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he was no longer with us. Charlie Kirk is dead. And to your point, Bill, because all of this is coming in live, so forgive me because this just happened here. It said it appeared as if the shot was right around 200 meters away, which would kind of confirm what you just said.
Yeah.
Because in that video that you showed me earlier, Bob, which again was the first time that I've seen it, we will refuse to show it on the show. If there was a building over there, it would more than likely probably have come from that building, I would imagine.
I mean,
because it didn't appear to be a hill or something to get above the rest of the
I mean,
people.
they're in a quad in a university. There's high ground all over the fucking place.
Yeah.
Typically,
Well, there's buildings. There's buildings all over, yeah.
Especially in Utah, where there's a lot of mountains, which means there's a lot of valleys as well, right? So there's going to be elevation naturally that occurs like that. TBD on where it actually came from. I'm sure the FBI is there piecing that together. Hopefully, every now and again they'll reach out to, and I don't mean this as an insult to the FBI, but they'll reach out to one of the organizations that's a little bit better at doing that particular thing. Like if it were me, I would be calling Tier 1 sniper units and be like, hey, get on the scene right now. Mm-hmm. Delta or DevGru, get here, or even, I mean, I would have said Secret Service in the past, but I'm not sure how confident I am in them. But Delta or DevGru sniper teams, I would have out there like on site fucking mapping this stuff out, and then, work backwards from there. Then you go to the cameras, right? Then you isolate fucking cell phones because this guy's on the loose. Then you isolate cell phones and see who was there. If you got the right kind of stuff, you can get it to within pretty close, and then you start looking at the cameras of the egress routes and see if you can find a car, a license plate, anything, right?
Yeah.
It's also possible if there's enough distance between, if you've got someone on one side taking a cell phone video and someone on the other side of the cell
You'll see a cluster. And
Yeah.
then one guy. Yeah.
Yeah. And then the second thing you can do is you can, you know, if the sensors are good enough on the cameras, you can look at how long it takes the sound to go to one sensor, sound to the other sensor, and you can back triangulate.
Yeah,
They'll
it's
be doing
auditory
that stuff.
triangulation,
Yeah,
yeah.
they'll be doing that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah. And there's what is it? 19th group is there. They got snipers nearby, and
Yeah.
then Montana's not far away, and half the fucking former SAD lives up there.
Yeah.
In one place or another. So there's people nearby that can get on scene and figure some of this shit out.
I'm going to give you guys some more live updates here that is currently happening. Utah Valley University is currently under lockdown, and all classes have been canceled for the day. Those who remain on campus should contact police for an escort before leaving. BYU in nearby Provo said it remains open, but with an increased police presence. One of the students, Angeline Paul, said it sounded like an earthquake and everybody started screaming and running. And all these kids started running into our classroom, falling to the ground. And they're like, there's a shooter, there's a shooter. She and her fellow students then started taking active shooter precautions, like turning off all the lights inside the buildings, in the classrooms, locking the doors, kind of going down the checklist of things that we need to do. Other witnesses have explained how the reality of what happened up there seemed to take a page from what they've grown up seeing. The craziest part about this, as one student said, is that I think we're all super desensitized from movies and television. So I saw it and I immediately just couldn't believe what my eyes were seeing. I think a lot of people are like that, and I'm certainly like this watching this video. Bob, is this one of the students who was there at the rally?
Don't put it on screen, but we can play the audio.
Okay, go ahead.
Just everyone got down. Everyone was so scared, and I just grabbed her, and my boss is with us, which is her mom. She was like, run, and we finally got up and followed the crowd, and I just kept holding her. I don't even have my shoes on. I left my keys, and everyone's just like scared. Like it's traumatizing. Like, you know, it scares. We just.
Wow. Yeah. I look, guys, we were, what, a tenth of a second away from Trump being assassinated last summer. Now we have this. A lot of people online are saying all this violence is coming from the left. And, yeah, it's hard to describe here what has happened today. And, whew, man, it's crazy. Also, some of the people's statements. If you're out there right now, I don't care what political party you're a part of, I would be very careful on what you say on camera or on social media. This will live with you forever.
Yeah, the media, looking at some of the posts surrounding this on X and other places, the abhorrent comments in there, like, I could not believe. I bet you it was 40 or 50% of the comments were essentially, guy got what he deserved, you know, laugh emojis, you know, just totally blowing it off. And you know, this type of thing to me is very few things get me speechless.
Same. It's hard to believe.
And it's also worth saying, I think, if this were someone of the left wing that was shot in the same way, my response wouldn't be much different. You know, political discourse, the First Amendment, and I'm not going to sit here and get on a table and scream to the mountains about this, but it's a bedrock, it's a core principle to the American experiment. It's what makes us different from everyone else. And people trying to shut that down for any reason whatsoever, to me, is antithetical to the American experiment. And this guy, I think, Utah maybe is the state to have it in, should be hanging from the gallows once they find him. This is the type of thing that we need to disincentivize this as hard and as fast as we can.
Yeah.
Any tolerance for this, you know.
Because a lot of people are on here online are saying, you know, this guy, this former woke senator, woke Mitt, or whatever the fuck he is, Remember how nobody gave a shit about Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota being assassinated just a couple months ago? Yes, we did. We actually talked about that on this show, and so did every other show. Every news outlet, everybody covered this in the same exact manner. It was horrific. The difference was with that one, it was their own. It was a guy that was inside the Senate working for them, and I don't know really how to describe it other than that. This, we have no idea who this guy is or woman. I guess that's my next question for both of you guys, since you are in the military. 200 meters out, how hard is that shot?
I can make that left-handed.
Yeah, okay. You give me an hour with you, and even iron sights.
It's that easy.
I'll get you hitting a paper plate from 200 meters within an hour.
Okay, and with a setup like this that we just saw here, and again, I want to reiterate what I said at the top of the show. The reason why I needed to see this was because I hadn't, and I want to be able to describe it. If you're in a tent like that, which is identical to the podcast tents that we set up in and do live shows all throughout the country, everywhere, there is no protection. There is no guard on either side as far as even just a tarp, so you could see that side of them. So, yeah, you're going to have the cleanest shot you could possibly get if you wanted to, and he's sitting in the exact same position throughout an entire show, which we do on a weekly basis here. So, yeah, it appears to be an easy shot, and it appears to me, and maybe you guys can correct me if I'm wrong on this, that it was pre-planned, it was set up, and the guy could take his time and take an easy shot.
Yeah, especially if he was in one of those buildings.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to be out in that quad. Again, this is all speculation right now, but
of course. But I'm just going with the facts that we have now. That it does appear that it was 200 meters away. I trust you guys on the caliber of the bullet and all that other stuff.
Could be wrong. Could be wrong.
Yeah, but still, it's important to know what this is. It's not a handgun, right?
No, handguns pop.
Okay,
that's how you can tell the difference. A handgun is like, you always hear that little P sound at the front end. Pretty easy to distinguish, typically.
So within the last year, we got 2 assassination attempts on Trump. Charlie Kirk is dead. How far is this going to go, and then what happens next?
I hope not far, because, and this is, I have to choose, I'm trying to choose my words as carefully as possible. But the free market of ideas allows us to have ideas and express them so that our ideas can be challenged, and that our ideas can die and not individuals. Because if you have a bad idea, whether it's about politics or whatever, if you couldn't abstract and think about the idea and you only could act it out, then people would be dying left and right because you'd be doing stupid shit.
Yes.
So the principle of the First Amendment is we should be able to have discourse about ideas as shitty or as great as they are, so that there can be this free exchange of ideas so people can update their systems. And whenever there's this type of political violence on the left or the right, you shut down that discourse, and it does 2 things. It makes people less, people now, I've had a few guys that since I've gotten here, have messaged me who do public events like you guys do and other ones. They're like, I don't think I want to do this stuff anymore. And that shuts down that discourse, which is ultimately what the left wants, because generally their ideas don't stand up to scrutiny. They're an appeal to emotion. Mm-hmm. And when your ideas are built on appeals to emotion and not logic, the only thing you can do when your ideas are being defeated in public discourse is start killing people. I mean, you look at Mao, you look at the killing fields, Pol Pot, you look at Marxism, you look at all of it. When people don't get in line and do what I think they should be doing in this system, it's time to kill people. And, that's antithetical, again, to the American experiment, and it worries me. Obviously, I'm worried about his family, the people around him, the people who are at that thing today. But when I try to abstract it a layer up, I'm worried about what this is going to do to discourse. I'm worried what it's going to do to this country if this continues, because the other thing I'll say about people who are generally conservative or right, or I call myself a classical liberal, is we're generally the ones who are armed. So when you really start putting the screws to people like guys on our side of this, I've experienced and been around enough violence to know it will always be my last recourse. But this type of crap makes me feel like the needle is going to, if you have sunny times and last recourse, the needle just went a little bit to the last recourse side of things. Like this didn't push anything in a positive direction. That worries me.
Yeah.
That makes me worried.
Same, and just because I typically, I always have voted conservative, and I'm a Republican. I don't agree with the political views of Obama or AOC or anything else. I don't wish any ill will against these people. I certainly don't want any violence towards them or assassination attempts or anything like that at all. They're free to express their opinion the same way everybody else is, and that's what our country was built on. I would never in a million years go on this show and advocate violence against any of these political figures just because I disagreed with their political stance one way or the other. And I hope the right doesn't start going after left politicians or left-leaning podcasters and things like that. But I don't know anymore.
I can't remember when's the
I don't know what people are going to do.
Well, when's the last time right-wing people have gone after left politicians
in public?
Yeah, I mean, it certainly has happened.
It's for sure happened.
Well, you take JFK, that was our own government. So
yeah, and really, if you were to take someone even as recent as Bill Clinton and JFK, and you were to look at their policies, they would be right-wing neo-fascists according to the left today.
Now,
the 1996 Bill Clinton address when he was reelected was secure the borders, free market economics, get out of debt.
And Hillary
abortion
reiterated
is
that.
Rare, safe, and so those four things right there put you on the right side of the spectrum today. So when you and the reason I say that is that when you even talk about what's happened on the right, what's happened on the left, it's like the goalposts for what is left and what is right has shifted so much in the last couple of years. Where a year ago or so, and it's kind of recalibrating in a way, but guys like myself or Dan or yourself would be like way on the far right, where it's like a few years ago I'd be smack dab in the middle pretty much.
Sure. I always say this, and I've said this on the show for years. I think if you sit down and have dinner with people, it's probably two issues that separates right and left. It used to be, not anymore. And then the shooter, everybody's waiting to hear from, in media and social media and everything else. Who was this guy? Was he, pro whatever? They're going to go through the social media and everything else. And this is going to be scrutinized for days, if not months. And I don't know what to think right now. This is what we do for a living, for Christ's sakes.
It's the again, the left and not tolerating discourse. Like Dan and I were talking about it earlier today. We're having dinner with a guy tonight that probably holds maybe 60% of the ideas that I hold, and his other 40%. I just love talking to those people that hold ideas that challenge my way of seeing the world because I want to update my system. I need my system updated because if it becomes static, I become dead.
Good ideas are the only remedy to bad ideas.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Because you talk about the free market of ideas. We call it free speech, right? Which is that the free market of ideas is an accompaniment or a result of free speech, which is the ability to express oneself freely without recourse from the government, right? That market allows for ideas to be tested against one another, and then with votes, it allows them to be put into application and tested, which is an even more important thing to some degree. When somebody tries to force you to have an idea, it's a bad one. Nobody ever has to force you. Nobody in the history of drugs has ever had to sell drugs, right?
Right.
Because people want them, and the system naturally wants good ideas. It needs it to thrive, right? I think it's a physical force of nature, frankly, and it just doesn't need that. So if anybody's trying to force you to believe something, whether it's a struggle session or whatever, right? Obviously, political violence is on the extreme end of that. Then that idea is intellectually bankrupt.
Yep.
And that's the point, right? That's the point of authoritarianism. It's the point, and it's why all utopian ideas eventually arrive at authoritarianism, because they're nonsense. That's not the real world, and the only way to get them to work is by having forced compliance. 100% participation is required for a utopia. Well, not everybody wants that, right?
Socialism's natural output is communism. Like once they see the ideas don't work, then now the guns and the jackboots come, and the rest of it. And that's what scares me the most about this.
Yeah, and again, we're getting these updates live because this just happened. The New York Times is reporting that he was shot during the question from a student saying, "Do you know how many mass shooters there have been in America in the last 10 years?" Kirk's last words were counting or not counting gang violence, and then he was shot. During that,
I think, honestly, this is just wild speculation on my part, but if I'm the FBI, the person that was asking that question, I'd probably take into custody as well.
I would agree. It seems strange, and then police are still.
Not necessarily
still on a manhunt for this guy.
Arrested,
he has not been.
Not
he's not been caught.
Yeah, not necessarily anything, but
questioned.
Worth to have a sit down.
Yeah,
with,
teeing somebody up is not out of the question, and it could be that the shooter was just sitting waiting for that question because it was obviously going to come, right? Could be either one of those. But if it were me conducting that investigation, I would definitely do that.
Yes. The other thing that I did not want to show on the show, and I was adamant about this, was the guy that was arrested and falsely accused as being the shooter, because he has been released. He looks like Larry David, and Larry David is now trending on Twitter, obviously. That's the world we live in.
Larry David's kind of a dick, but he would never resort to political violence.
No. But
he's also a funny dick.
But the guy that, and I refuse to show his picture.
I'm not saying it was him. I'm just saying that he doesn't deserve fucking strays.
No. The guy looks identical to Larry David, so I refuse to show that picture as well. I don't want to get caught up in this false bullshit of showing
that
things.
For the internet's sake, because the internet is stupid and they'll try to pull shit like that.
Yeah. Because people were screaming out to him and everything else, and no. I refuse to show that as well because we don't want to get this wrong.
No, and again, a lot of people jumped out to say this or that thing, or there was some this is how quickly the mistruths build on top of each other. Mm-hmm. This dude gets roughed up by the cops. Probably because he's crazy or some shit, right? Crazy people show up to political events all the time.
Yes, especially in Utah.
Yeah, well, everywhere. I've worked in politics. It's everywhere because most of the staffers on the left, not staffers, but the volunteers that show up for left causes are crazy people. All of them. I've worked on that side. I know what it looks like. But this guy gets caught by police, roughed up by him, taken into custody for a moment. You see him drag. The videos go out on Twitter, and all of a sudden, people are posting the profile of some trans dude that kind of looks like him. Right. It's like, oh, was this trans guy? Like, no.
Yep.
Maybe it was a trans person. We don't fucking know yet.
I have no idea.
But that lie built and made its way all the way. What is it? What's the phrase? Bill, a lie circles the earth twice before the truth gets out of bed or some bullshit like that.
I haven't heard
Pretty
that
much
one.
got it, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how it goes, but that's how it goes. Like, you got to be real careful about jumping out in front of this stuff. And I would say to the people talking about him, I just watched another video, showed Bill a second ago. It's like from a different angle.
Okay.
Closer, and then from the right side. There's no way he was critical but stable. That dude was dead by the time he hit the ground.
I'm sure.
Like, I just don't.
Even the video I saw.
All these major newspapers are reporting this and that thing, and it's like, dude, it's not a race. By tomorrow, nobody's going to remember who was first. Get the fucking story right, because millions of people are watching you.
And I will say this, in regards to mainstream media on this one, no one reported he was dead until his own website did, and then Trump did right afterwards, immediately afterwards, and then the mainstream media did that. And I think that's the right thing to do, because we don't know. And there was people that rushed over to help him and everything else. And I think it is important to get the story correct. Even before we went on air today, we go over titles all the time before we go on air, and it was Charlie Kirk was shot. Well, then we heard from some inside sources that he was dead. And I said, all right, before we go on air, let's make sure we get this right. Even though we are a podcast, I don't want to be part of the disinformation or misinformation that's out there. I don't want to. There's millions of people that listen to this goddamn thing, and I don't want to be a part of that.
No, and then there's, Bill, I don't know how much, if any, you work in this specifically, but I do quite a bit of work on the, I guess you could say, the messaging side of it. But there's a shitload of foreign bots on these social media platforms. waiting for something like this to happen so they could just pump, because the 55 to 75-year-old person that still votes, that just kind of casually browses the internet, is going to get told a narrative, and then they're going to go vote as a result of that without ever checking back in, because it's just the way they consume social media. I think somebody actually said in the chat earlier that their 75-year-old dad went on Twitter because of this to see what was going on, right?
Yeah.
And 75% of fucking Twitter, by the way, is bullshit.
Right.
It's just like foreign bots and porn bots and all this other stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on, man, and there's a lot of predatory people out there. It's you gotta keep your wits about you, I suppose. But also, you know, there's people don't want to see stuff like this. They don't want to see violent things. I think that I think you should watch this. I think you should watch this. I think the video of that woman getting stabbed should be published. I think everybody should get their eyes on it to see the fucking consequences of incompetence, to see what happens when local governments decide that putting violent criminals back on the street is no big deal, when pundits and media people decide, and politicians as well, decide that it's just okay to tell people that they're under threat, because that might get me over the hump voting-wise next time, or might get my bill passed or my issue into the mainstream. Well, it's not okay, all right? It's not okay. We're not at fucking war.
Right.
If you want one, we can do that, but we're not there, all right? And nobody fucking wants that shit. I can tell you right now, you don't fucking want it, because all the people that do war are on my side.
Yeah. And then, Bob, this clip we can play, and this is from C-SPAN. This happens roughly 12 minutes ago. Lauren Boebert requested a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk, and then Democrats on the House floor can be heard shouting no. Go ahead and press play on this video. I have not seen this.
This is all kabuki theater.
What purpose did the gentlelady from Colorado rise?
Shh.
Wow, they're pissed.
Let's wait a minute. Wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. We will join prayer right after this, okay?
So Democrats can be heard shouting no. Representative Paulina Luna shouts back, "Y'all caused this." And then Democrats can be heard screaming out, "Fuck you," which we just heard on that video there.
Well, I mean, if she was talking directly to Chris Murphy, it's not the worst accusation I've ever heard. I mean, again, if you tell people, especially people who are already mentally ill, that Group X is out to get you, they're coming, dude. This is a fight for your life. They're taking your rights away. They're going to take your right. They told the narrative on trans people the last 5 years has been that Republicans want you dead, right? And it's not just from a national media perspective, but even in the doctor's office, the doctor says, well, do you want a trans kid or a dead kid, right? You know what? Fuck you. I think these people that have been doing this stuff to children, it's another thing. I mean, it's kind of like, we'll get to that later maybe, but I feel like those people need to be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. At no point has mutilating children ever been acceptable, and there's no law in any state that should allow that, and I think, fuck making a law moving forward.
Right.
We need to go back and find anybody that ever participated in any of that stuff and put them in prison. Or, you know, frankly, I think they should be publicly executed. That's what I think. I don't know if the Constitution allows for that necessarily. Well, we can work through those processes, but if it were up to me, I would publicly execute every single one of those people. I would put them on their knees in a stadium and blow their brains out of the back of their fucking head.
Now,
every single one of them, one after another.
Congressmen on the right are saying, let's not forget that Nancy Pelosi and the Democrats knelt for 8 minutes and 46 seconds to honor George Floyd when they couldn't even say a silent prayer, I guess, here on the House floor right now. have we gone past the points that we can repair this relationship on both sides? I mean, it's starting to, we're right there. And as Dan and you guys pointed out earlier, this is a weekly occurrence now. This isn't just once a year. This is starting to be a weekly occurrence. And I don't know what to do. And moments before this, by the way, in a moment of irony, is Kathy Hochul, the governor of New York, actually said the subway has been safer with the National Guard there, and she actually approved the National Guard to stay there longer because the subway in New York City has been so safe with them there. So where are we at in this country?
This is not a controversial take to say that public safety makes everything better.
I don't understand why it is. But we just had a fucking rally in D.C. to say that it isn't.
Yeah, when you ask about what if we can repair this, no, you can't repair with anybody who thinks that letting violent criminals out of prison is a good idea. You can't. There's nothing to repair there because that's not a fucking what do you call it? That is not a good actor. That's a bad actor by definition. They know that that's not true. They know it. Like this Mamdani dickhole that's running in New York. It just like another video of him yesterday saying, "What's even the point of prison?" You know. And then Jasmine Crockett. It's like cops aren't to stop crime. They're to like arrest people after crime. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, these people are irredeemable, you know, and I'll say this for just the average citizen. Obviously, you have to arm yourself, not just literally, which I would encourage you to do. Don't go anywhere without a fucking gun. I sure as shit don't. But you have to arm yourself with the correct way to go about an argument, right? Understanding first principles. I did a full show on the Organon, and I'll do more on it soon about this. But it's like, if you understand the dialectic, what something is, what it means to be, all the way through what it means to construct an argument and how to avoid sophistry, you can have reasonable conversation, which is what Charlie was trying to do, by the way. This is a unique experience. You're probably not going to get shot by your crazy uncle because you're correcting some stupid shit he believes. But if you come at him hard and say, you're an idiot for believing that, well, he's going to get defensive, and no matter what you say, you're not going to convince him. It is incumbent upon you to be armed with the truth and a good sense of the dialectic so you can have these conversations and convince enough people that this stuff is nonsense, because you cannot have that conversation with Nancy Pelosi. Not because she's out of reach, but because intellectually she's out of reach. She's bought it. She's bought into her own bullshit. Jasmine Crockett is an irredeemable person. AOC, irredeemable person. Bernie Sanders, irredeemable person. You cannot negotiate with somebody who thinks that letting violent criminals out on the street is a good idea. There's no negotiation to be had. That person is a retard. They're a 5-year-old. You can't negotiate with them, right? But you can with your neighbor, right? Yeah. That's the only way to do that. And then, of course, our instinct is to see somebody say something stupid on the internet and repost it. You shouldn't do that, because all you're doing is giving them the fucking money and attention that they want. You got to stop doing that stuff.
Yeah, you see the intellectual high ground if you have to resort to ad hominem in the middle of a discussion. Like, and also it's just important to people to be incumbent on like thinking through their positions instead of just having a feeling about their positions, and then looking it up and saying, how do I logically get from something like first principles or the tenets that are enshrined in the Bill of Rights to today? Protection of yourself, your property, your family. When you read the Federalist Papers, it's obvious why the Second Amendment was right after the First, because these things are extremely important. But it's really something that, to me, and I don't mean to go way back in the time machine here, but this political divide really started during the Obama administration. He was one of the first guys out there. I think he was in Philadelphia when he's saying, like, if they want to have a knife fight, you bring a gun, something like that. And the ends, again, justifying the means. Like, it's a revolutionary look at things, and I don't like revolutionary in this sense because it generally leads to violence. And, the great thing about being an American is we haven't had violence on our shores in any meaningful context besides, September 11th, and then before that, World War II. We've largely been able to have an abstracted sense of war. And I don't think all of these people calling for war or violence or whatever else know what the hell they're asking for, because when it shows up at your door, it's not the movies.
Right.
You know, this is not, I mean, watching that Charlie Kirk video, this is the natural output of telling people that everyone who doesn't feel the way that you do is violent Nazi. And what do you do with Nazis? You kill them.
Yeah.
You know, that's what they're calling us. And so whether it's people who are mentally unstable or somebody that walks the dog on this and arrives at an output like Dan is a Nazi and he needs to die. I mean, how do they not think that this would happen? And it's because this lines their pockets. It allows them to gather political capital. And for the people that are being convinced by these things, it allows them to, thinking is hard. And it allows them to put thinking off because they've got a rubric to how to see the world. And then people act surprised when this type of thing happens.
Yeah, and Bob, go ahead and play this clip from Van Jones. This was last night, and he actually referenced Charlie Kirk last night. Not been a great day for CNN today, I can tell you that, or ever, but go ahead and play this clip. This is in regards to the young woman who was
What happened was
stabbed.
horrible.
Play this one more time. I'm sorry for interrupting you. This is in regards to the young woman who was stabbed on the train there. Go ahead and start from the top.
People hurt people. What happened was horrible, but it becomes an opportunity for people to jump on bandwagons. And then for someone like Charlie Kirk, he should be ashamed of himself. No one mentioned the word race, white, black, or anything except him. What people mention is the horror of what happened to this young woman. People hurt people. What happened
you can press pause
Who's,
on this.
who's the him in that statement?
The killer.
No one mentioned race except him. So, like, if you're trying...
or Charlie Kirk, I'm sorry, yes.
Oh, I see.
In regards to that. But
yeah, well, the killer did, actually.
Yeah.
He said,
over
I got that
and
white
over
bitch,
and over again. And by the way, he took heat for that all day. He was trending most of all day online, #1 there. And then this happens today. I mean, he literally mentioned this last night about Charlie Kirk. We don't know who the shooter is. We have no idea what their motives were, but he went live on CNN last night and said this.
And the irony
about Charlie
dripping
Kirk.
from his content, from his comments about we're not the ones who mentioned race or race wasn't being mentioned. That's the left's entire rubric, is what's swinging between your legs, how do you feel, what is your race, and what part of the socioeconomic background strata are you from. That's how they view everything through. That is the optic.
Yeah.
That's the enlightened optic when it comes to how to see the world first, and you can see it practically because if that subway thing were reversed, and it was a white guy killing a black person on that train, there'd be no end to what we were seeing, especially if it was an immigrant from Africa or something like that who just came here pursuing the American dream.
Yeah.
Which that's the inverse of her, right? She's here from the Ukraine, looking for some safety. We would not stop hearing about it. There would be riots, and there would be a national day of mourning.
Well, there was. So with BLM, and this is the irony in Van Jones' statement, is he brought up race over and over and over again regarding George Floyd and Derek Chauvin over and over and over again. If race didn't matter and all of these killings, why would you bring it up? And I don't understand it. Now, we saw the video and heard the video. He said over and over and over again, the killer, that's, I got that white woman or that white, what was the exact phrase, Dan?
I think he said, I got that white bitch.
Yes.
Over and over again.
But it's also, it's a bit of me thinks he doth protest too much. Like when that's the first thing he brings up, it's usually the way that he sees things, and he's actually, there's some self-petting going on there, where he's, talking about the exact thing that he does and the way that they work.
Yeah. And I'm real curious to see the news tonight. This is one of those nights where I go home and I watch all the outlets. I watch all the news networks just to see where they live and where they're standing at during something like this. CNN has gotten worse and worse and worse. I understand why. Their ratings are in the fucking toilet, and they're just trying to draw anyone there before that network gets sold because it is for sale, and so is MSNBC. So a lot of these comments that you're hearing today, a lot of them are involved in ratings and trying to keep their network alive and shit like that. Definitely not the right comments to say. Definitely not the way to save your network. Is everybody talking about your two networks? They are, but in the most negative way possible. And I don't know a buyer out there that wants to now buy these companies because of the comments and the rhetoric they've said in the last 48 hours, not only in regards to Charlie Kirk, but in regards to that young woman on the train and I don't know how that helps sell your company.
Yeah.
So even that's confusing to me.
How disingenuous, like solipsistic, do you have to be to try to get clicks, likes, views, or boost your value off of knowingly misrepresenting the truth in order to heighten your media profile temporarily, like you said? If you're wrong in the beginning or whatever, it's like they're not thinking about the long game. They're only thinking about right now. It's like they're a patient in the hospital. Like they're not thinking about the bank account. They're only thinking about staying alive today. So what do I have to do to stay alive today? And they're willing to resort to anything.
Yeah, and then Dan, I wanted to ask you about this, and I'm gonna go ahead and share this with you, Bob, because I don't watch cartoons that much. I don't watch South Park. Apparently, they just did Charlie Kirk on South Park, and people are going after
Couple
South
months
Park
ago.
right now.
I don't know why they would be going out. I mean, I didn't.
I'm not sure. I didn't see the episode, so I don't know what it's in reference to.
I didn't watch it, but I can't imagine.
I know
that
you're a
they-
South Park.
I can show you the clip of Charlie Kirk reacting to it.
He thought it was pretty funny.
Oh, he thought it was funny?
He thought it was really funny.
Yeah. So people are going after South Park online. I don't know what South Park has to do with this, but you
Not
know,
much.
Yeah, I can't imagine that they encourage.
now that one we
violence.
definitely can't play because Viacom will tear that down. If you want to play the audio, go ahead. Yeah.
Well, this is just Cartman looking like. I'll try to find the video, but this is like Cartman looking like.
What was the reference to, Bob? I
He
didn't
was
see
like
the
on
episode.
campus arguing. He was mad because another character was undercutting him because he'd always been like the hot take.
Yeah, like
artist.
Clyde became a hot take guy talking shit about Jews or something like that. And
Okay.
then he started doing it, so he was.
I don't have an issue with that. Going after South Park is crazy for
Here's
something like this.
here's the audio.
Okay.
I'll give you the audio.
Yeah, press play because they'll definitely bring us to the video.
Okay, here you go.
Thank you.
Are people stealing my stick? If anyone around here is going to be a master debater, it's me. So let's go. Who wants to debate the master debater? Let's go. You right there.
I don't know what the point.
That's
of
the
playing this
stupidest
is.
haircut I've ever seen.
Turn this
You
off.
around.
Well, I'll tell you what it is. It's trending right now, and it's top 10 on Twitter, and people are saying South Park has blood on their hands and remove South Park from all streaming services. I don't agree with that either. Do you, Dan?
No, they didn't. They're parroting a public figure.
I agree.
Stupid.
I agree. And like, I'm not going to be the fucking dude on the right who says cancel comedy for this bullshit. Like, no. This is a parody. This is comedy and everything else. So, just out of curiosity, I wanted to know why, because I don't know what South Park has to do with this. And this certainly, watching this video, Bob, does not make me want to go out and want to assassinate someone. So,
Yeah, I mean,
going after South Park is fucking stupid.
What I saw from the video, it like wasn't even that bad of a take on Charlie Kirk.
No, and it doesn't make anyone want to go out and assassinate Charlie Kirk. From
I'm not
going
going to get offended on somebody else's behalf.
Me neither.
He wasn't, so why the fuck would you?
Yes,
It's stupid.
That's fucking stupid. So the people that are even saying this online, fuck off. If you are a public celebrity or a public figure, I should say, yeah, people are going to make fun of you. People say shitty things about us every goddamn day, I'm sure. Dan, you read the comments. I don't, but I'm sure it's every day.
I get dumb shit.
That's what happens.
I have a
That's what
relatively
happens.
small presence, and I get dumb shit every day.
Look, that's what happens, and then you get into this, and you can't expect otherwise. So, yeah, it's somebody's opinion. Should you go in and assassinate the people for their opinion? No, you should not. No, you should not go and kill these people. And once again, I really want to preface this where I don't want anyone from the rights going after people on the left to get even or settle the score or whatever the fuck it is. Now, let's say this keeps happening. Then what do you guys predict is going to happen?
It's usually so. There are people better than me that talk about this, but do you know how many wars have started because the plebs started it? And the two rulers were trying to stay out of it. They didn't want a real fight, but the plebs demanded it. It happens a lot.
Okay.
It happens a lot. And I don't mean to denigrate people by calling them plebs, but that's what we are. We're not part of the political class here.
Correct, yeah.
Right? So
we are plebs. I'm okay with saying that.
Yeah, it's just
I'm a
like,
pleb.
I don't know.
I wish I wasn't.
There's not a whole lot of mechanisms within government for that kind of thing. You know what I mean? So like if you're talking about Rome or something, or any other country but ours, frankly, it's like violence gets to a certain level, the other governor over there or the other baron or whatever, like we got to fight now. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? But there's no mechanism for that in the United States. It's all in the courts and stuff like that. And the courts are fucked and politicized, so it leaves people feeling powerless. And what you don't want is a bunch of armed nihilists, because that's what gangs are. You know what I mean? That's what terrorist groups are. People act fucking crazy when they're upset. A lot of people are angry right now.
Yeah, it's especially scary to me. The thing I always think about is most people who I know that are highly trained in some domain, some capacity, whether it's military-related, cops, whatever, even somebody who's really good at jiu-jitsu, they don't want the fight.
No.
They know they know what it's like. So to me, one of the scariest things is somebody who has no idea what the fight is, but decides to pick up a rifle. Those cowards will do anything because they're not thinking about the first, second, third order effects of their actions. They're just out there causing calamity because they don't understand. They have no idea what they've done. And they're just like, poking the tiger. And it's, I guess the way to sum that idea up is, it's not these guys that are highly trained or have the experience that we ought to be worried about. It's the cowards, an angry. There's nothing scarier than an angry, bitter man, to me, because that guy's willing to do whatever.
And to sit 200 meters away,
yeah,
and fire a gun at somebody sitting in a tent,
yeah,
is the most cowardly thing you could possibly do.
Yep.
Completely defenseless in the middle of a speech. And look, I went to Ohio State. I think, Dan, you went to Penn State, obviously. Speakers like this came to campus all the time, right and left. Everybody respected them. There was no violence. Nobody got chased into buildings. Nobody hid in janitor's closets like a Riley Gaines or anything like that. It seems like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And by the way, a lot of people have asked, why would you invite Charlie Kirk to a university that's like this or traditionally liberal or Democrat or whatever? Because you want to hear ideas from the other side. Ohio State did this routinely when I was in school there. And yeah, you want to hear their ideas. You want to hear their opinions and then form your own afterwards. If you disagree with them, Charlie has always given them the platform to say, hey, here's the microphone. Come up and ask a question about it. What are you concerned about? What are you worried about? I will answer your question. We can have a question. And even his laughter about the South Park thing. That's what it was. It was always a debate. It was always calm. It was always friendly. Everybody got an equal opportunity to speak, ask their question, and then move on with their lives. So shooting someone from 200 meters away that he can't see and he can't defend himself is absolutely fucking cowardly.
Yeah.
Bob, check your Twitter DMs really quick.
It's the same, and I don't know what this is. It's just an observation of mine. But it's like the same things that they hate about him are like the same things they hated about Trump. It's like, it's a family guy. He's got young kids. He's got children. He's successful, and he did it on his own. And
31.
At
to
31.
Do that at 31
yeah,
is
31
crazy.
is crazy. And when you're this, whoever this person is, sitting in their parents' basement or wherever, just fuming because you have this successful person out there with a wife and kids or, family or whatever, nothing gets them more rapacious, nothing gets them more angry than when they see that type of thing. And I don't understand that at all. It makes zero sense to me. When I see someone who I think is doing excellent in a certain domain or a certain capacity, I try to get that person in my purview and try to learn something. And then also, like I said, like dinner tonight, I hope I walk in there and just get told I'm an idiot from the moment we step in the room and just get my whole system updated.
Likely.
Because, what's that?
Likely.
So that's likely.
By the way, who are you having dinner with tonight? Do you mind?
Michael Mouse.
Oh, Mouse. Yeah.
He's definitely going to call you an idiot.
Yeah, but he's a fucking, he'll debate about anything.
Yeah.
And he's a good person.
Yeah.
Because when he was on this show, people were like, oh, Ross, were you pissed off? And I go, no, dude. I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious. And if you don't have debates and thoughtful conversations with other people that you may disagree with on one or two issues, what the fuck are we all doing here?
Yeah. Well, the other thing, too, is I can never predict what that dude is going to say.
Michael?
When someone asks him a question, yes. And that's very attractive to me because to learn from that person, because they're not an ideologue. Like if you go ask some blue-haired liberal at Ohio State her opinion on X, Y, or Z, you can almost tell her what her opinion is going to be. And that ideological bent where you're not learning anything. You're a mouthpiece for a system. I just love getting my ideas
But
challenged.
you also better not have blue hair at Ohio State, because that's the one school where it's
No, it's not
we're
happening.
Go blue, yeah.
Anyway, I just
I'm
said that
kidding.
because you just said it. But
I'm kidding.
Regardless,
Red hair.
if I can predict
hair,
what
yeah.
you're going to say, you're a useless entity to me. You're an NPC.
Yeah.
You're a non-playable character.
And if you refuse to have conversations with people on both sides, like what are you doing? Like you live in a fucking bubble, dude.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that's most people are idiots. That's a fact, right? Which is, one of the reasons we do this, not to pander to idiots, but to try to pull a couple of people out of it.
Try to.
If you get a couple, then that's good. Somebody super chatted that you can't pray your way out of this. I agree with that. There's one. It's not a parable, but it's like a kind of an old proverb that people tell a lot. I'm sure you probably heard it before. It's about a flood victim. Flood begins, and families like, oh, we're praying to God, so we're just going to stay here. Waters start to rise, and somebody comes through in a truck, and they say, hey, hop in. They're like, no, we're good. God has us. And then water continues to rise, and they're on the roof, and a boat comes by. It's like, hey, jump in. We can save you. And then the water's up to the roof, and they're standing on the apex, and a helicopter comes by. And they say, no, thanks, God's got us, and then they die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they get to God, and they say, God, why didn't you save us? And he goes, I sent a car, a boat, and a fucking helicopter.
What else did you want?
What else did you want me to do? Sometimes you've got to do shit for yourself.
Yes.
And it's incumbent upon you. I actually tweeted this morning. I'll paraphrase because I don't remember exactly what I said, but some to the effect of, if you're looking around and you feel like America needs hope, then be hopeful. If it needs fathers, be a father figure. If it needs strength, be strong, whatever. Be what it, because nobody's coming, right? It is up to each one of you individually and each one of us individually. Individuals are what made this country great. They're the only things, like for the first time in human history, we unleashed the power of the individual in this country, and within shorter time than most countries take to get their legs under them, we became the most powerful country in the history of the world.
Yep.
Because of that specifically. It's why China on technology, we could talk about this for hours. China will never catch us on technology.
Ever in a million years.
Because they're, anytime, I've said this before, but if you have an authoritarian system like that, manager here, subordinate has a great idea that's game-changing. Manager tries to steal that idea but doesn't understand it. Probably has that guy clipped. Idea gets to 80% and no further. That's why they have to steal shit from us all the time. They will never catch us, technologically speaking.
That's their whole complex. I mean, you look at their military, you look at their tanks, you look at their optics, you look at everything that they do as a military.
80%.
It's just a lift of things that we've been doing.
Trump says 80-20 all the time regarding everything else. This is actually 80-20 regarding the military.
Then they try to cobble the rest together, but the individual is what matters here. When the individual is strong, the state is small, right? And when the state is strong, the individual is small. We have gotten to that latter portion. So all of these, finding one individual or this individual to blame about shit that's going wrong in this country right now, we are all to blame because we have allowed the state to become strong, and that was never the intention of anybody in our founding group. So, except for maybe Hamilton, he was a bit crazy, but on some stuff. But
great songwriter though.
The only way to reverse this for people who are asking is what I've been telling you for years and years and years. When the government shows up in your community and nobody has their hand out, they have no power. Yep. So you solve those problems in your community before they get there, and then if you've got the ability to move on to the next community, go on and help them solve their problems as well. Fuck the government. The state is your enemy. It always, every piece of our founding documentation was designed specifically to limit government power, right?
Yep.
Only governments are a threat to liberty. Hurricanes and fucking
tornadoes,
floods,
floods,
and fucking and viruses and all this other shit. Famine, they're not threats to liberty. Those are existential threats, sure, but they're not threats to liberty. Threats to liberty can only come from governments.
Yeah.
And if ours isn't specifically defending liberty, then it needs to go away and be replaced by something else. As a matter of fact, it says that in the Declaration of Goddamn Independence.
Yeah, and they can only exist by and everyone knows this, but I'll just say it to put a bow on what Dan just said. They only exist to legislate more laws, and laws by their very nature are an imposition on liberty and freedom, and they can only exercise those laws once they're in there by taxing us. And that's antithetical to the American experiment, as I've probably said 2 or 3 times here. But it's just, to answer your question, I've been thinking about it since you asked it. I think it has to be something that happens as a result of culture. I think culture is going to have to shift. Unfortunately, these types of things are going to happen or continue happening, and people are just going to. Politics is downstream of culture. If the culture starts to shift and change, politics will follow suit because those people want to stay in office.
Yeah, politicians are morons. They're not. They're not the best and brightest people.
Right.
No.
They're idiots. So when they go to their little town hall meetings or read their comments on the internet, which, by the way, most of those comments are fucking foreign bots manipulating them.
Yeah.
When they go to these things and Joe Blow is like, I'm angry, blah blah blah. But when they go out and say some angry shit, right?
Yeah.
And 30 more people get angry. It's nonsense.
So I've got a question for the two of you guys here. This is from Redonk in the chats here.
Yeah.
Great username. I know it's weird on a show like today.
A
Obviously.
little levity helps.
Yeah, it does.
A great name is a great name.
But I think his question is important here. Now, Tim Pool, who you were obviously friends with, you've done a lot of shows with. I've never done his show. Is doing a live show as we speak as well, apparently. His chats is being spammed with the word war over and over and over again for the last 30 minutes. Is that something that we're going to hear for the next couple days, or that people are going to be talking about for the next couple days? Because that's fucking scary if it is.
Yeah, I mean, people that are capable of doing war don't spend a whole lot of time talking about doing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Very true. I've never heard you talk about it once since our friendship began.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's a last resort.
It is. I agree. And it should be the last resort. Always. You don't start it, but you should definitely fucking end it.
Well, I think Reagan had the best. I'm not a fan of Reagan, but he had the best quote of all time. Somebody was yelling, "Make love, not war," and he said, "You don't look like you're capable of doing either." I think it's the best response to that of all time.
But he was also married to the throat goat. I mean,
yeah. Well, see, he knew.
Yeah, he knew.
And he got shot, so he definitely knew.
Yeah, he sure did. What is this video that you have brought up? By the way,
this is a video somebody posted of. It looks like there's a dude on top of that building back there. You can just play it.
Okay. And this one's okay to play?
Yeah, there's nothing in this.
Okay.
This is before the shooting.
Okay.
And then the one on the right, this is bifurcated. The one on the right is
already be in place?
after.
You would think that. So there's somebody on the roof right there? Just saying? He just ran from over, where's my finger? Whoa. From over there, ran in.
He ran over to get a shot.
Yeah, he's right there. Just saying, just...
This is after, obviously. People ducking and shit.
Bob, would you mind playing that one more time here? So what are we looking at, Dan? Describe it for the audio listeners.
You've got a guy in the prone position on a rooftop getting ready to fucking shoot somebody is what it looks like. I mean, so you can't tell from this video, but the guy's voice you hear in the background that took the video said this dude just stood up. He's on from stage side. He's on stage left, but on our view, stage right, on our view, right side of that building. And then he runs over to the left side, right to the corner. Probably a better vantage point, I would imagine, if that is indeed a shooter.
Does that appear to be a human? Yes, it does.
Yeah.
Who's moving right there and a shooter. Bill, that would also confirm your theory as well, that he was in an elevated position, and we cannot determine what the person looks like or a description, height, weight, or anything from this. However,
police have said they haven't found a weapon either, which means the person took it with them when they ran, which is
that typical?
So, well, it depends on what you mean by typical. A professional would not do that.
Right.
Professional would fucking. Not only would you wear, I don't even want to say this stuff. No.
Okay.
But no, it's not professional. That's some asshole.
It's not professional.
No.
Okay. So this isn't a guy who was hired for a hit, is what you're saying.
I mean, it could be.
Could be, but I would say unlikely.
Like people fucking pay somebody $100. Well, what? Usually, by the way, I mean I shouldn't say this either, just for the sake of the government actually catching these idiots. But if somebody approaches you and says they can kill somebody for you, it's almost always an FBI agent. Almost always.
Right.
I would say 99% of the time that's the FBI.
Really?
Yeah. People don't fucking just like, oh, check out my White Pages ad. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, and as I'm going through here, I'm looking at CNN right now. You can pull up CNN, conservative activists up. I'll pull up CNN.com just to show. I just want to see the headlines here before we get out of here. Across the board, we'll go left to right, if you will. Conservative activist Charlie Kirk shot and killed on Utah campus. And then immediately to the left of this photo, it says Trump hints at potential fallout from Russia's incursion into NATO.
Looks pretty normal.
Yeah, pretty normal. Go to Fox.com, FoxNews.com. Let's see what they're reporting right now. Charlie Kirk, Turning Point USA founder, assassinated at 31 on college campus.
By the way, I just want to say something really quick because I caught a headline.
You did? Okay.
And you know how people say, like, oh, you don't hate the media enough? You know,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
We say that
and
all the time.
it's all like usually political stuff or whatever.
Sure.
Fuck every outlet that does this. I caught it on the New York Post, but I'm sure they're not the only one.
Uh-huh.
It said everything you need to know about Charlie Kirk's wife. And it was just a craven SEO grab.
Why?
A craven SEO grab.
Yeah, I agree. Why?
By the way, the New York, well, it's a rag.
It is. So, hey, living in New York and going to NYU and all this stuff. No. It has always been a rag.
It's a tabloid.
They're always looking for that headline and all that other bullshit.
I can tell you what they did
It
right
is
now.
simply to sell
I
fucking shit.
I can tell you exactly how the process went. Somebody, I don't know if it's a producer or their data manager or whomever it is, their
editor.
They looked on one of these sites that tracks Google's search, right? And they just looked at all the phrases that people are searching for that with the word Kirk in it, right? And like, oh, a bunch of people are searching about Charlie Kirk's wife. The reason is because there was a rumor on Twitter that she also got hit, which I don't know what the fuck that was about.
Yeah.
But it's Twitter.
I don't believe she was there.
No. Probably not. I don't know.
No, they
if
were
she
there.
was-
Oh, they
Okay.
were?
Yeah, but
They
like,
I don't know if they were there, but they traveled with
yeah,
him.
I don't know anything about all that, but there was never any evidence of anybody other than him being hit, right? Just rumors on the internet. So people start searching for it, Charlie Kirk's wife, to see if she got clipped or not, and some asshole piece of fucking shit, whomever the editor is for New York Post, is a piece of shit just for even letting that happen in the first place. But what happened was they checked on the back end of one of those sites. There's a bunch of them. I'm not going to name them. But where you do basically how you do SEO farming, you see what people are searching for. Is like, oh, we should do a quick and all they did was grab all the bio information from different websites and put it on that and publish something just so they could get clicks.
Before you hate the media about anything politically, you need to understand their business model and hate that first.
I do. And as soon as you said that, it was like, why the fuck would you post that? Why would you post that? And then last but not least here, we'll go to MSNBC.com just out of curiosity to see their headlines. Because this is what I do on a nightly basis. Breaking. MAGA activist Charlie Kirk is dead, Trump says.
Who said that?
MSNBC.
Oh, that's not what it says there.
Conservative influencer Charlie Kirk.
Right there, no, right there at the red at the top of the page here.
Oh.
Breaking. MAGA activist Charlie Kirk is dead, Trump says. He did not say MAGA activist Charlie Kirk, by the way, just so we're clear on that. Jesus Christ, dude.
The guy asked you earlier about what we can do, and I've been thinking about that since you asked it because I'm not exactly the smartest, sharpest knife in the silverware drawer. But one of the things I thought about was for a long time myself, and I know lots of guys who are like this. They're just busy with their 9 to 5. They're busy with their families. They see retarded shit on the internet. They see retarded stories, and they're just like, I don't have time for this. I'm just going to get back to work, keep building, keep saving, keep doing my thing. I think it's going to take some of those guys to step in and say, we're not doing this retarded shit anymore. This is ridiculous. And that's got to be part of that cultural movement. The other thing, too, is I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not sorry to say this, but I feel there's a part of me that's like, don't say it, but I'm compelled to say it. The guy's got a beautiful wife and family.
Yep.
And he's dead because of his ideas. And he's a wonderful guy. I saw him speak many times. Not in person, only once in person, but on YouTube, watch his content. No, I didn't agree with everything he said. I'd say maybe only about 70% of what he said I'd agree with. But I would feel this same profound sense of despair if this were Sam Harris, a guy that I almost not agree with at all on the left.
Yeah.
But I watch him because every once in a while there's a pearl there. He drops the odd pearl that I agree with, but also it helps me challenge my own ideas, my system, and like that's the rubric that people need to look at. Like characters like this is use him as a way to bolster your own positions, to challenge yourself, and to update your system so that you're a more complete human and not a mouthpiece or an ideologue. So it makes me sad that this happens like this because it's just.
I agree, and to that point, like. I don't want to see Stephen Colbert assassinated.
No,
I don't want to
no.
see Jimmy Kimmel assassinated. I don't want to see Jon Stewart assassinated. What I will be curious to see is right now it is 5:06 CST here. All of those shows typically tape at 5:30 p.m. I'm curious as to what they lead with tonight, so I will be watching all of those shows tonight to see if they will pay some form of tribute or condemn what has happened, because we should all condemn what has happened. That's why I said on the right, as far as conservative beliefs and who I believe in politically, I do not want to see any violence against the left because of this.
I don't think condemning it is. I don't think that's like saying I support the fucking troops or something. That's a meaningless platitude, is it not?
But if you go on,
No, they need to
if you go on air every night and say I hate these guys over and over and over again, somebody's going to ask the question.
You can't keep calling people Nazi. And Hitler.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you cannot do that every single night.
No, and also, just pragmatically, idiots on the left who do this, you take the spice out of the word and you make it useless. It's like if someone 4 years ago, if someone called me a Nazi after watching this podcast, I'm like, holy shit, I need to look at myself.
Right.
Like, what am I putting across? If someone said that to me today after this podcast, I wouldn't think twice about it.
I know. And that's how desensitized and numb we are to all of this bullshit that's going on right now.
Yeah.
So now is the point in the show where we get to the Drinkin' Bro of the Week. Obviously, it's Charlie Kirk. Look, he's been on the program. There's some people that you talk to that we don't know in real life, celebrities. I just had this conversation this morning in regards to a Hardy F. Seltzer meeting where they were like, oh, can you get this celebrity that's been on your show? And I had to tell them, I said, look, a lot of these people Dan and I aren't friends with in real life. They're on the show and they're great guests and we enjoy them, but we don't really know we don't know them in real life. We don't hang out with them. We don't call them afterwards. And it's a show. It's a great show. And then we kind of move on with that. Some of them stick where they are actually great friends. We talk to them over and over again after the shows are over, and we enjoy them. Charlie Kirk was one of those people that I personally got to chat with afterwards that he was on. Now, granted, we had a bet on a game, and it was fun, and we enjoyed it. We had a good laugh about it. But he's a 31-year-old guy who has a young wife and
two extremely young children.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Horrible.
So those guys, him, his wife, his two children, the rest of his family, everybody who's going through this. Erica is her name, by the way. Those are our Drinkin' Bros of the week because this is unimaginable. There's no way you show up to a college campus and think that something like this would happen, that you would be assassinated from what appears to be a rooftop in the middle of the afternoon in Utah.
Well, you should be thinking about it now.
I agree. And you say this all the time on the show, Dan, that you should always be prepared every single place you go. I didn't like it. I didn't like that statement years ago because I didn't want to have to look over my shoulder every single fucking place I went. You almost feel like you have to now, and that's what fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, it does suck because you're going to be thinking about this a lot more. It permeates its way throughout culture. And, I did it just as I don't know why, OCD. Everywhere I go, I usually keep a trauma kit. I'm for sure armed. I was just bitching to Dan last night about having to go to a place where I couldn't be armed.
Yes.
And it sucks that you have to feel that way because I'd like this to be 1996, United States of America, where everyone's running around wraparound shades and hot green bikinis and no one cares about anything, just having a great time. Mm-hmm. But unless we have this cultural change that I talked about before, those days might be gone.
Yeah, and one thing I will say is in regards to your statement, Dan, it was an employee that used to work with us who said, hey, does it fucking bother you that you got to wait so long for Dan to get through security because he's always checking a firearm everywhere you go? And my answer was no. I go, I feel better that he is, because that's the dude that's going to take the shit. It's not going to be me. It's not going to be the fucking Hollywood actor who's doing this bullshit. Like, it's going to be him. And so, no, I will wait the extra 15, 20 minutes. I don't care because I feel safe everywhere I go. And it sucks that we have to do this as Americans and as citizens. But to Dan's point, it is almost necessary these days. So.
It's not almost, it's necessary.
I know.
Period. And I mean, it is, it's an unfortunate thing, I suppose. But
what I mean is unfortunate about it is I have to think about it all the time.
Yeah, no, I know.
Yes.
I know.
I don't want to think about it all the time. Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that's. I think that there's a quote about this. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but I would rather deal with this than have our kids deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
And you're correct. You've been correct all these years, and I've gotten used to it. Truthfully, like as time has gone by, like we talked about at the top of the show, it has gotten worse and worse and worse, and now it feels like this is happening on a weekly basis. Make sure you protect yourself and your family, and feel safe about everywhere you go, because nobody's coming for you. Nobody's going to look after you. Nobody certainly did today. And Bill, you always seem to be here during these moments. Bill Thompson in real life is a very close friend of ours, so this was not a guest situation. We were not supposed to have a guest on the show today. We just invited him in.
I was just coming here to watch.
I know. But you're a good friend of ours, and I think in times like these, when tragedy strikes, especially to people that we know and people that we love, it is important to have great friends around you. That's why we invited you on the show today. Bill was not a guest. We love you. We love Spartan Forge and everything we're doing, and we're actually genuinely friends in real life. And he was here, and we just said, hey, would you do this show with us, man? Because this is going to be a tough one today. So thank you for being here.
And thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for tuning in. For D'Anthony Hollaway, I'm Ross Patterson. This